Hey, how's it going? This is Mr. Bob, the People's Black Belt, and this is Breaking Down the Basics. So in our last episode, we went over the jab cross. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the hook and uppercut. Now, just like with the last one of the big things is making sure that your hand is correct as far as your grip goes or as far as your fist goes. So like I said, my favorite, normal fist here, and then what you want to do is you want to put it across your fingers. So when you're punching, a lot of times if you put your fingers here, your thumb sticks out and you may hit with your thumb before you hit with your knuckles. So what I like to do is, like I said, here I straighten out my index finger and then I cover it up. Just seems like a tighter grip for me, or a tighter fist. So moving forward with the hooks and the uppercuts, what is super important, like with the jabs and the crosses, you want to make sure when you're hitting, you're not hitting with a bent wrist. You're not hitting your hook with a bent wrist, hitting it with a bent wrist. When you're hitting your uppercuts, you don't want to be hitting like this, or you don't want to be hitting like this. You want to try and make sure everything is nice and straight and your wrists are strong. All right, so let's get going. So what I like to do is, whether it's right leg back or left leg back, I always have my hands up. So as far as the hook goes, what I like to tell my students is pretend like you're carrying a big barrel. Like you're carrying a big barrel. Put your hands like this. Now you're going to make your fist. Now that's how far away from your body that you want your hook to be. You don't want your hook to be close. You don't want it to be close. It's not set up to be a close punch. It's set up to be a punch that covers a little bit more ground. So we make our fists. Now, just like with the jab and the cross, I like to pretend that there's a string tied to my pinky and to the back of my heel. So when I throw my hook, my heel comes up. Now when you're throwing your hook, I also like to tell the kids, don't stop halfway. Go all the way. You don't want to punch to a target, you want to punch through a target. So if I'm here with my hook, I come around and that heel comes up. All right, so it's here. Boom. Or if you're hitting off the back, the same exact rule applies. You're coming, it's all connected. And just like what we talked about on the jab and the cross, you want to punch like you're going down a clothesline. This is very similar to the point where you want to make sure with the hook, you're punching horizontal. All right, so we're here, we come up, pinky, heel, pinky, heel. All right, you don't want to drop your elbow, you want to keep everything nice and straight, like it's connected to a clothesline. And then here. All right, now for the uppercut. I like to tell the kids the same thing. With the hook, it's horizontal. With your uppercut, it's vertical. All right? So, we do the same premise. There's a string tied to our pinky and then to our heel. We come up, and as we come up, just like with the other ones, if you're moving your heel, you're incorporating your hips. If you're incorporating your hips, a lot more power and a lot more penetration. So we're coming up here. See how pinky, or in this one you might say index finger, connected to the heel. Straight up and down. So if we're here, coming up, it's straight up and down. Here, if you want to do it with the front hand, connected straight up and down. But you want to make sure you're doing that pivot, and you want to make sure that when you're doing your hook and your uppercut, everything's true. As far as you don't want to be doing uppercuts with your elbow flared out. You don't want to be doing hooks with your elbow flared down. You want to try and make sure it's either vertical or as horizontal as it can be, because it will be more effective. Your wrist, everything lines up. And if everything lines up, there's less chance of you getting hurt. So we're here, we come up, we hit that hook, or we hit the uppercut. Everything's connected. Horizontal, vertical, connected to your heel, to your pinky. or your index finger, what you want to do is, like I said, more power, you put your hips into it, more penetration. And when you're doing your hook, don't stop halfway. Go all the way. You want to hit through it, not to it. Now I'm not talking like you're going to hit a hook like and fall over. You want to be in control, but you want to make sure also you hit through it. Same thing in the uppercut. Be in control. Pivot on your heel. Pivot on the balls of your feet. Have your heels connected. Make everything nice and neat. Do your best as far as keeping your wrists nice and straight and strong, because you don't want to hit and then have your wrist crumple. You want to keep it strong. Boom. Boom. Same thing in the uppercuts. Keep everything nice and strong. A lot of it is making sure that your wrists stay strong. All right? So thank you very much for watching this episode on hooks and uppercuts. Please like the video if you have an opportunity, and if you can, do me a favor and subscribe. Thank you very much.